joining us here on the show. I consider him the preeminent voice of the New England Patriots. I enjoy his work in both written and video form. You read him and see him at NBC Sports Boston, formerly Comcast Sportsnet New England. I always have a good laugh with him and a good debate when that comes to fray as well, and that would be Tom E. Curran. Tommy, good morning.
Damon, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
God, this market misses you.
I don't know, man. Seems like you guys are doing okay.
Everybody's doing okay, but I just liked your voice. I liked having you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I read your piece about the win over the Vikings, and I couldn't help but wonder if you were taking a shot at, not maybe necessarily me, that would be a little self-involved, but people like me that have poo-pooed how good the Patriots actually are by hoping, crossing our fingers, that the dynasty is coming to an end. Are you sick of people waiting for the end of the Patriots?
No. I'm not sick of them waiting for it because, this is an historic run that the Patriots are on. Certainly it compares with anything that we've ever seen in professional sports. And as a result, we need to chronicle the end days of it, which people in this market got really sick of me doing last summer and continue to get sick of me doing this year. But, you have to look at the arc of it. And the arc of it is certainly heading downward, coming to a big head this offseason. Not to say that they're going to go to 7-9, but there's a lot of things that are entering into this historic run that add up to say, okay, and what I wrote last week, DA, not to go on too long, is they had Dynasty 1.0, 2009 was a changeover year, now they're in Dynasty 2.0. This one, after a 10-year run, is coming to an end, and they're going to have to reboot or return to what they were.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting way to kind of break it down because it's true. It is two different dynasties. It just has the same head coach, the same quarterback, so we think of it as one long run. You called out paint-by-numbers columnist, and maybe that was about Dan Shaughnessy, maybe that was about somebody else, but I often get your column cited to me when I bring up how much the AFC East has helped out the Patriots' run here. And as you cited in your piece with the win over the Vikings, they are .761 winning percentage against the NFC, and that's pretty damn close to their .797 against the AFC East. And when you're talking about a .797 against the AFC East, and you're better than that in the AFC North, the South, the NFC East, the NFC North, what you're saying is they're not just great against the AFC East, they're great against everybody. So I'm guessing you think that it's overblown how bad the division has helped the Pats.
100% it's overblown. Now, has the AFC East rolled out Titans of the NFL? Certainly not, but I think it overstates, too, when we get into who the best starting quarterback that has ever competed against Brady regularly in the division was, and that's Chad Pennington. I'll take that. I understand. But you've also had some diabolical defenses and some things that enter into playing in the AFC East, too. No other division has a climate change situation like the Patriots, Jets, and Bills face when they have to go down to Miami, which might be, along with Arizona, the hottest climate that you have to deal with. Doesn't happen in the NFC North, where they're in domes. Doesn't happen in the AFC North, where all the teams are on equal footing. That's a pain in the ass. Additionally, if you look, over the last, since 2012 was the last time this was an embarrassment of a division. 13, 14, and 15, there was just one team under 500 in the AFC. And the last two seasons, they had playoff teams. Buffalo went, Miami went. Again, the league sucks. The Patriots could be plopped down in virtually any division and still have the same level of success. And I think they proved that by going outside the division and winning at the same rate. What's your counter to that?
My counter is by getting 5 to 6 automatic wins a year in the division. And you say diabolical defense, but let's face it, there's been a couple of pockets where the Jets have been good defensively. None of the other teams, the Dolphins or the Bills, have had diabolical defenses over 18 years.
Come on, the Bills have had some nasty defenses.
Diabolical? I mean, they haven't made a playoffs in 20 years. Can you say it's
last year, bro?
Yes, that was the first time since the 90s.
Okay, but you just blew yourself up.
No, wait a second. 18 years, come on. And then
But you just said they haven't made the playoffs. They were there 9 months ago.
I said they hadn't made the playoffs, and that was the entire stretch.
That back.
And now number two, You're talking about you get 5 or 6 tomato cans or 5 or 6 automatic wins that you don't have to grind through a physical, exhausting win. And so
you don't think that the games against the Jets, Dolphins, and Bills are grinds? I mean, they go down there and they play the Jets, and we can acknowledge the Patriots have been the best team in football, and it's a rock fight generally, and the Patriots have lost to the Jets.
That's true.
So if it's such a cakewalk, why does that happen?
That's true. But let's face it, the Patriots
are so bad. Why aren't they under 500 more often when they're outside the division?
The Patriots don't have to play their A game to beat those divisional teams. They don't. They get to play their C game like they did this year and beat the Jets. And that happens regularly because they don't play elite competition in the division. And that, to me, also helps them out in all of the other games they play. I crunched some of the numbers.
I said, okay, go ahead.
And so I've looked at every time they played a Hall of Fame quarterback, and they have been very good against Hall of Fame quarterbacks or those that we think will make the Hall of Fame, like Aaron Rodgers, et cetera. And they're 650 under Tom Brady, which is very good. It's a very good win percentage, but it's well below all of their other divisional win percentages.
Hall of Fame, you said, right?
Yes, Hall of Fame caliber.
Okay, just to reiterate the bar you're putting out.
Yes,
okay.
No, absolutely. But then the week after, and they have a very good win percentage, 650 is very good, but the week after, they also have a 714 win percentage, which is, again, very good, but that's well below all their other win percentages in divisions against the NFC or in their division, which tells...
I don't think those numbers make a great case.
Well, let me say, they're really good. They're really good no matter what, but they're worse when they play great quarterbacks and worse when they play the week after great quarterbacks. And if they played 6 great quarterbacks a year in their division, their win percentage will be different.
So it would go from 797 down to 714. I mean, you just stated.
Yes.
That's
100-point difference.
The Patriots win 65% of the time against Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
That's right.
Yet the overall point you're making is they profit from being in the AFC East. There's been no Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the AFC East, right? Except for Brady.
Yeah.
So when they wander out, they still win at a 65% rate.
Absolutely.
Against the Drew Breeses, the Aaron Rodgers, the Ben Roethlisbergers, on down the line.
That's right. Yes. And
that's insane that you're using that as proof.
Well, I think it's very significant. And what I'm saying is that the Patriots are really good. No matter where you try to break it down, they're really good. But to say that 100-point differential between the division and the week after playing good quarterbacks is not significant, it is. It's 100-point differential.
You just said 650 to 714.
No, I'm talking about they're over 800. They're over 800 in almost every division that they play, right? Or at least in the say the AFC East, they're at 800. They're at 714 after they play a really good quarterback. But that's an 85% win differential in a 16-game season.
Here's what people like you and I do. We make a point, and because we're pretty good at trying to buttress that point, we scour and scour and scour until we find something that helps it out.
But that's not fair to diminish the numbers that I
Up,
found.
we say, "See, look what I found," and it's not sometimes as good as we think it is.
Well, wait a second. You're telling me that would the Patriots opt to play the AFC East schedule, or would they rather take the Ravens and the Steelers twice a year?
Generally speaking, I would say, how would the Ravens and Steelers do in the AFC East, for instance?
Wait a second. The Ravens have been the one team that have been able to riddle the Patriots every single time. Or let's even take the AFC West, where they have a losing win percentage. And that could be because of travel and altitude at Denver. But you can't tell me the Patriots wouldn't opt for the AFC East over any other division every year for 20 years. They would always opt for the AFC East.
I think that they would love to be in the AFC South.
Okay, they would have loved to play Peyton.
They would love to play in a dome, trade out some dome games.
But they would love to play Peyton Manning in his prime twice a year.
Ask yourself this: with the AFC East, if the Patriots weren't there, be the AFC East, because then the Jets get some wins and they get some continuity, and they might win the division a couple times. And if you win the division a couple of times, then you don't have to gas the head coach. And if you don't have to gas the head coach, he gets his system in place.
Okay,
and then you're not always making panic moves.
That's
with the
right.
Franchise.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. This is where you have to credit the Patriots. They force the other 3 teams to be obviously on high alert all the time because they can't win the division, but they haven't prevented those 3 teams from being such a disaster in the draft. Like, those GMs have busted on quarterbacks every single time. The Patriots have benefited. And to say that those 6 games in the middle of a season don't help the Patriots the other 10 weeks or get to the playoffs with a bye in a home game, to me is delusional. Of course it helps them. Now, it could be, in your mind, not a huge part.
To contort it as if these are walkthrough games that the Patriots play in Buffalo, in New York, in Miami, DA, you've watched the games. You were here. You saw the competition level.
But
I know that the quarterbacks and the head coaches and Geno Smith and, J.P.
Mark
Watson,
Sanchez.
all that stuff.
Yeah, right. 20 years of disasters.
Okay. But, again, those games are rock fights. That's why teams begin. That's why nobody wants to reshuffle the way the playoffs are, because division has to mean something. And because divisional games are so friggin' hard. It doesn't matter how bad those teams are. I mean, it does. But, again, when you look at the AFC East, they haven't had they've only had one team under 500, 13, 14, and 15. And then 16 and 17, they sent two teams to the playoffs. Let me give you just one historical thing, too, that you'll find interesting.
I'm sorry, I got to cut you off, Tommy, but you know what? I will invite you back at the top of the hour if you want to do that in 5 minutes.
No, I got to pack up and get up to work, baby.
All right, man. I love you, bud.
You too. Take care.
All right, man. You too. Tommy Curran joining us this morning here on the show.